likely in midair as it crashed into the Atlantic on a flight from Rio to Paris Sunday night, they say. But investigators will have to go down to the ocean floor and recover the plane's black box to find out exactly what happened. But it looks to me like right now Mr. Alain Bouillard is setting up two scenarios: a lightning strike or these frozen speed sensors that send information to the computers. And the computers made a fatal error. Where were the men? The pilots? Who could possibly have maneuvered around these storms or over or under them? No mention. That's where the black boxes have the truth. Will they surface? Space back with more in a moment on AM 640 and A View from Space.
You're listening to A View from Space with the Spaceman, exercising the right to free speech while he still can on AM 640.
I'm the guy to call Space. You can email me at two addresses, space@640toronto.com and spaceman@640toronto.com. And thanks for writing if you did. I appreciate that. Looks to me like Air France and Alain Bouillard, the head investigator on the team to find out the truth, are starting to harp quite heavily on this speed sensor, and it looks as though this may be where they go, the airspeed indicators not accurately reporting airspeed, and they let the aircraft fly anyway. How about that? So they found two bodies now, and the Air France spokespeople have said nothing about that. The French government has said nothing about it. They also found floating in the water, the Brazilian Air Force did, a briefcase with an Air France Flight 447 ticket in it. They checked the ticket number, and it jives with one of the passengers that were on the aircraft. Now they're sending a forensic team who are experts on human remains on their way to examine these two bodies. Now, maybe we can determine there was loss of cabin pressure now that they have these two bodies. But it seems to me the aircraft itself, sitting on the bottom of the ocean in about 15,000 feet of water, should not be that hard to find with the technology we have today. I mean, I was just reading a story the other day about the Marianas Trench. It's the deepest part of any ocean anywhere in the entire world, just off the coast of Indonesia. Pressure down there is just absolutely incredibly immense, and they do have a submersible that they have put down there, and it goes for like miles and miles. This is only about 5 miles deep where we are, and yet they have a submersible that's been near the bottom of that trench, the deepest part of the Pacific Ocean. So if you can do that, you can certainly find an aircraft that went to the bottom. And of course you have the pingers helping you out that are attached to the black box. But hold on. French officials say there is no guarantee the beacons were still attached to the flight recorders, and they may have been separated in the impact of the crash. So, sounds more like planting thoughts to me. I mean, a black box withstands a lot. Fire, pressure, explosions. Yet, the beacons aren't attached securely. Interesting. "24 error messages minutes before the plane crashed were sent out automatically," meaning that a whole hell of a lot of things were going wrong in a quick hurry. Much like as if a bomb went off, or an unmarked fighter jet flew by and blew it out of the air. Now, you have to ask yourself, why would they want to blow this aircraft out of the air? I'll answer that coming up on AM 640 in a View from Space. The latest attempts by France to give excuses why Air France Flight 447 will never be located are extremely discouraging. It has to be very hard on the families that have lost people that were on that flight, family members. And yet, they continue making statements that are, well, dead-ended, hopeless. Now, Anna Bouillard has another little piece of information stuck up his sleeve. Had an investigation into the crash. He told reporters that they also saw messages in those 24 messages that were sent automatically by that aircraft before it was downed that show the automatic pilot wasn't working. Meaning the pilots, co-pilot or the pilot, were flying the aircraft. And maybe they were maneuvering around the storm when the bomb went off, or they were shot down. Now, I could easily see Alain Bouillard standing up at a podium in about 3 weeks, 4 weeks' time after they've lifted some of the debris out, and they have done this over and over for us. They'll bring up part of the fuselage out, and they will show you it on a hook, and then cut to some other picture of parts scattered on a floor. And you can't make head or tail of that. You have no idea what that is. Yet, in between the thumb and the forefinger of Alain Bouillard's hand, he'll be holding up this little piece that goes, and he'll say, "This is the airspeed indicator device that was frozen. And here's the evidence that it was frozen, and here's the temperature that it was that night," and the whole routine, and he'll concoct this whole story, and people will go, "Wow, that's really too bad. Wow, I wonder why these things don't freeze like every other month then, and aircraft falls out of the sky." It's just not like that. Or he'll hold up a pinger and say, "Here's what the pinger looks like, and it must have came off of the black box, and we just can't locate it." It could be anywhere along that ocean floor bottom up, and they'll give you some kind of a figure of 75 to 100 kilometers wide and long. Because, you see, they insist on telling us that that pinger, there is no guarantee that it will be attached to the flight recorder. So you can see the complexity of the problem that they can build.